Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. And reviewing another film from 2007, so 10 years, 10th anniversary be exact. On a film that the film is at Christmas, so it's another like Christmas film, but it's a horror Christmas film, I would say. And I did like this film. I thought it was simple. Some people say it's a cliched though, like another case of like an obsessive gone too far and all that stuff though. But I like it. It's still simple enough though, and I like the location where it's taking place at. And from 2007, that is the horror film P2. And it's like it takes place in a underground parking garage, parking level 2, the parking level, so that's why P2, a new level of terror. It's directed by a guy named Franck Khalfoun, mispronounced his name because he's a French director, in which he has collabed with another horror director who is also French, Alexander Haddaz, the guy who directed the remake of The Hills Have Eyes and Piranha 3D, Mirrors. But this guy, the director, he gets with Alexander Haddaz a couple of times, as well as Gregory Levasseur, who is also a producer on this as well. Well, with Alexander Haddaz. And this guy, he directed also another few years after this, he going to direct a remake that I thought was pretty decent with Elijah Wood called Maniac. And that was a remake of the 1980s film the same name, Maniac, and I thought that was a decent remake. Elijah Wood, he did a good job in that film. And then he directed, then he directed the 50-time delayed movie of a sequel, which was should have been shelved anyway, which is the sequel to Amityville: The Awakening, which that film got delayed like 50 times, and which if the film got delayed like so many times for like literally in the span of 2 years, should not release the film anyway. Yeah, it was supposed to like that film, Amityville: Awakening, which had Jennifer Jason Leigh and Kurtwood Smith in it. That film was supposed to be like, to like the start of 2015, but then it got delayed and again and again and again and again and again till like sometime like in October this year, and didn't do Dilly Squad in the U.S., but it made like some like overseas something, but still didn't do Dilly Squad. So it goes to show the film got delayed like how many times? Says something. Which we didn't need another sequel to the Amityville franchise anyway. It's got too many sequels anyway, and I didn't like the remake either. And because even though despite I like Ryan Reynolds though, but it was just another remake that didn't need to be made. But this guy, I like this. I thought I like this film, and I do like Maniac as well, but I also like this film as well. Like I said, it's simple, but even though it's like considered like a little bit cliched though, which I'll get into though. But I like the location where it's taking place at, and a little bit atmospheric as it takes place in an underground parking garage. And the lead actress, Rachel Nichols, I thought she did pretty. Her right there. I thought that she played decently. Wes Bentley, who I like this guy. He has this craze of security guard, which he was Interstellar. I liked him in that. He was in the first Hunger Games films. He appeared in Pete's Dragon, the remake of last year. He gets a lot of hate when, of course, this was 2007, so this was released in the same year as Ghost Rider, and when he played Blackheart. I like Ghost Rider. A lot of people hate that movie. Especially when they hate they don't like the villain. Probably especially Nichols Cage. But I thought Wes Bentley I thought he did absolutely fine as Blackheart. Probably didn't like that villain, but I like Ghost Rider. I know, but I thought Wes Bentley was not a problem at all. But I like Wes Bentley, so I think he did and I think I also had a role in that film with Kevin Spacey, American Beauty. But I think Wes Bentley did a good job here. He's this crazed. The security guard works in the parking garage. So it's on the night of Christmas Eve, before Christmas, where Rachel Nichols plays this girl named Angela who works at an office building in New York, Manhattan, I think. And she was working late, and her families are waiting for her to have this family get together on Christmas Eve, and she was gonna leave. She gets to the parking garage, but her car doesn't start. So she asks the security guard down there, Thomas, played by Wes Bentley, see if anything they can do is like call a taxi. And she waits in the lobby, and forget the guy starts out, he's like being nice and all that. But then when she sees a taxi, but the lobby doors are locked, so the taxi leaves without her, of course, and she gets back down there. But all the power starts turning off, and she has her cell phone, and of course the cell phone light right behind her, Wes Bentley behind her, and gets the stuff to knock her out. I think it was chloroform, knocks her out like this, and then she wakes up. He's in his office, completely changed clothes, and he's wearing a Santa outfit that she had, and with his dog. I forget the name. What was his dog's name was, and of course he's a guy who's been a typical guy, like psychopathic though. He's been obsessed with her. He's been watching her, and he's like in love with her. So it's that cliche of a obsessive person who's madly in love with a girl, stalking her basically, and he tells her he loves her and all that, and of course the girl is not. He says, "Oh, you may be nice though, but I'm not into you." That part. And this comes a point in time where he's just gonna snap, and then he even threatens her, like he makes her call her family up, like she's sick and all that, and she can't escape him because she's handcuffed to the table, and he refuses to let her out. And it sort of shows that he's been watching him through the security cameras as well. And one part worse than another, where he makes her get in his car and tries to start another part of the garage where there's one of his workers tied to a chair. Where he shows her through video footage of this guy who was drunk on the Christmas party, and starts like hitting her, and he says like that he's evil, and he does not deserve you, and all that stuff. And then the point where Angela, she tries to say, no, please don't do this, all this, but of course he's crazy. He just goes and takes his car and just goes and rams the guy right into the wall a couple of times, and just killing him before they beats him a couple of times with his flashlight. And he's not, of course, he's already crazy upstairs, so. And then one point where she escapes, so even though she's handcuffed though, but she was like this, but then she managed to get herself her hands forward like this, and she runs away. And this is basically a whole cat and mouse throughout this whole movie, cat and mouse, where she gets to a point where she gets to his office, but his dog's there. For one point, she sees a video footage of him, kind of touching her like the wrong ways as he's dressing her when he captured her. Or one point, she gets to an elevator, and has like some emergency thing where it talks like to the operator of emergency operator, but it's Thomas impersonating, and where he floods. I like where he floods the whole elevator up, and there's like another dead guy who was also a security guard there at the building. She knew him, and he's dead, and the whole waterfall pours out, and poor where she's just sitting there all alone, like right here, right there, and where now he's just toying with her, where he's in his office and he's putting on Elvis's Blue Christmas, the blue, and he's dancing to it, Christmas. You know, he's just like dancing his like music all over the speakers in the garage. And boom point where he, it's just a time where she's just had enough. She's just gonna fight him, and boom point where she captures him again. He captures her again. Sorry. And puts her into this trunk where, because there's two cops where she did manage to call for help, and two cops show up. So he puts her in this trunk, and you have this like in the opening, as the opening credits are going, it shows up where it opens where the garage is in this car, and you have that song, Santa Baby. I forget the name of the, and I forget the name of the actress. This is what happens. I'm talking too fast. I'm talking too fast. I'm just stuttering my words again. Where I forget the name of the singer is. It's not Madonna. She's singing a different version of it, but I forget the name of this singer is. But like Santa Baby, and this is to the point where the cops are investigating, and she gets a tire iron and pops the trunk up, and then the cops leave, of course. And then she gets the fire axe, and that's when she saw the video footage of him like touching her and all that, and takes the axe, and more she destroys all the security cameras, and Thomas sicks his dog on her, but eventually she kills the dog. Sadly, even though when you're raised by a crazy person, but still, but she kills the dog. He's like, when he finds his dog, he's like, he was just an innocent dog. Yeah, an innocent dog where you just raised the dog to go and sick on her. Yeah, he's an innocent dog. But he was just an innocent dog. But I thought Wes Bentley, I thought he played up the character of Thomas pretty well. Just even though it's a cliched concept though, but I thought he did pretty decently. Just look at him. Just look at his face. He always gives that creepy, psychopathic look. I thought he played up the role pretty good. To me, though. And I don't think he's not that bad of an actor at all, either. He gets a lot of shit for playing Ghost Rider. I liked him in Ghost Rider. I don't think he's not that bad of an actor. I don't get the hate for him. I don't get it. So, so after the cops leave, and now it's just basically it's more cat and mouse chasing around, and then where Angela, she gets in a car and he gets in his car, and then the part where they're facing each other like a game of chicken, and then she works one thing where they probably hit each other, but then she flips her car over, and as he's getting up to the car, she stabs him in the eye, takes out his eye, and then she takes the handcuffs he had and handcuffs him to the car. And it's like, where are you going? She takes his taser away from him, which he used on her before. She just goes walk away. He's like, I just want us to be friends. Wait, hey, don't walk up. Where are you going, you? Says the C word. Is it C-U-N-T? Calls her that. And now that just set her off as well. And she goes, Merry Christmas, Thomas. Used the taser to light the gasoline that was leaking. And it's like, ah! Ah! And then he dies, the car explodes, and then the garage gates open up, and she walks off into the early morning, cold morning, because she has no shoes, and she's wearing this dress, and it's very cold out there, so she walks off into the cold, snowy morning as the police and ambulance arrive outside. So, and then as the credits go on, you have the still pictures of our characters, and you have Elvis Presley of Blue Christmas playing. So, but yeah, it's a much shorter view, but like I said, it's simple story. It's just a simple a guy who's obsessed and crazy in love with this one girl, and then it comes cat and mouse. It can't get more simple than that. So that's why it's not that very long a review. But I like the film. I like the premise of it. I thought Wes Bentley, I think he did pretty good. I don't think he's not that bad of an actor at all. I like him in Ghost Rider, and I like him in Fearless Stuff, though, as well. He pulls off just to look of him, he pulls off that creepy look, pretty well. So, and Rachel Nichols, I thought she did decently as well. I don't think she wasn't that bad. I like the atmosphere. I like the whole location of the underground parking garage. It's dark and gritty a little bit, because it's how basically when you're locked in a parking garage and there's very little places you can go. But I thought I like P2. And when the film came out, it didn't do diddly squat. It opened up at number 9 and made $3 million domestically and $3 million overseas. So worldwide, it's made $7 million on its budget, a low budget of $3 million. And it was given mixed as well. It was like 35% Rotten Tomatoes. It has like I forget what it has on IMDb. But I think it's not that bad. Yeah, I understand it because people it's a cliched horror film though. But to me, it's not that bad. And really enough, even looking at the Roger Ebert, he actually liked the movie. He gave this 3 out of 4 stars, and he says, quote, "Although the plot may seem like a formulaic slasher film, P2 is in fact a very well made atmospheric thriller with gritty yet realistic characters." I agree with that because, like I said before, like I said, it gives an atmospheric look to it, like how it's dark in this parking garage. It does get that little gritty bitness to it, and realistic characters. Wes Bentley, who is like this crazy love obsessed security crazy in love with this girl. But at least Roger Ebert, he liked the movie. So it's not that all bad. Although I even may he rest in peace, I do disagree with him on some stuff though, but I'm surprised he can like stuff like this as well. Not much for features. There's an auto commentary with the director and filmmakers. Then there's a making of P2, designing terror, tension, presenting Franck Khalfoun, pronounce his last name, the director. So yeah, I like P2. It's a simple, but some people say it's cliche, but it's a simple enough premise. Can't get more simple than that. And like I said before, I don't get the hate for Wes Bentley. I think he did pretty good in this, like he did in Ghost Rider, which was released in the same year. And for this person from the New York Times says, taking the bus to work seems like a very good idea. I find that funny. But yeah, and it does have some good bits, like Wes Bentley, like the best kill, the security guard in the elevator, he just drowned and died, but the guy who was a coworker that he thinks was being perverted to Rachel Nichols, he just takes his car and just rams him, and you get some good blood stuff on there when he's being rammed into the wall. It's a good effect. Score is, who did the score to this? Tom, what was the score? Tom and Dandy, it's all one word. I think the score is okay. That's one thing, I think the score is alright. And the film is only an hour and 38 minutes, but it's well paced. I don't think it didn't drag on that slow. I don't think it was not that slow. But it's listed that the director Alexander Haddad, who helped write the film as well as produce it, help in the hand in this, because I love the Hills of Eyes remake. I think this is his best movie. But the guy who directed though, I like Maniac, I like this film, but I still not yet seen Amityville Awakening because until I get the DVD. I can't say nothing about it, but I knew how it's not that great of a movie when a film gets delayed like 10 times. But P2, I like. Our two characters, I thought they were all overall worked together. Well, like Wes Bentley was good, and Rachel Nichols, I thought she was very decent. Premise, our two characters. Although I did like hearing Elvis Presley's Blue Christmas in a horror movie. It's quite different for me, hearing a classic singer in a horror film like Blue Christmas, and I think it's a pretty decent Christmas film because it's set on Christmas Eve, so I thought it's a decent Christmas horror film to watch on. But yeah, I like P2. I thought it's a decent slasher horror film. People call it slasher film, like cliched slasher film, but I like P2. So 10 years later, it's still worth a watch. If you're looking to say it to people, it's worth a watch still. I can still watch it. But yeah, that's my thoughts on P2. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.